What is up, YouTube? I am Galadite74, bringing you guys the Champions of Galar Tournament Draft Analysis. That is a mouthful. This is a pretty special video for a few different reasons. This is our only league we are doing in the fall of 2021, and the final league we are doing in the first half of the generation, meaning after this league ends, BDSP will drop and the second half of the generation will ensue. So that is very awesome stuff. We got through 2 years of Sword and Shield. We might still be on Sword and Shield afterwards, but we'll see. Second, the big elephant in the room, I'm using a face cam. I put a tweet out and I reached a like goal, and we're doing it. The reason is I've been watching a Draft League battler named Mountain recently, and he dresses up for his games, and he's a great content creator that I've been into recently. And I want to do this, like, I've always kind of wanted to, but I haven't always wanted to put that much effort into my videos, so I don't have the greatest face cam in this position, and I definitely don't have a 3-point lighting system, so it's a little janky back there. I apologize. But this is how we're going to do it for today's video. But as the league implies, this is the Champions of Galar. There are 14 coaches that have all won a championship in Gen 8 Wi-Fi, including myself. We all got invited, and I just want to preface this by saying I always like competitiveness a little bit more than content for my channel personally. However, I do like a mix of both, and I didn't join this league because it's the top coaches of the generation's Wi-Fi, of all the coaches. I think that's kind of an egotistical statement that I'm not a fan of. The reason I joined was because Aquarius, Jack, and Dr. Slacking are running it, and I am really good friends with all of them, and I am a big fan of them, and I really think they are going to do a great job at running this league. There are still people that I really enjoy as well in this whole league that I like being around, so it's going to be all good for a mix of content and competitiveness, even though it does lean towards competitive, because in the end, every coach here is very good in the draft scene. It is a 9-week season, which is pretty awesome, and yeah, there's not too much else to say. I don't expect to do great in this league, but considering we just won BBL, our UPA run is going a lot better than I thought it would be, and wouldn't be too upset if we kind of like died down a bit in this league. But yep, that's not too much else I have to say. I'm not going to be on the screen for too long here, as there is a little bit of a glare. I do wear glasses, so that's how it goes. You can't really even see me being dressed up that much. But anyway, before I reveal my team and cut to that, I want to let you guys know you should check out the CGT Twitter, as well as the Discord server. It is open. We're doing pick'ems, power rankings, all that good stuff. And finally, in the bottom right corner there, my Twitter. So with all that plugging out of the way, let's get into my draft analysis. And boom, here we are. This is the team we drafted for the Champions of Galar League. If you are here to see the team, this is it, and hopefully you don't click off and my view time doesn't drop. I will go in depth to how this team works and how they synergize. Usually we go pick by pick and then talk about the Pokemon themselves. We are doing it differently because that has kind of fallen out in the draft community, and plus I can talk about the team as a whole here. So I kind of like this a bit more. So yep, that is what we have, and I'm a pretty big fan of this team. I will say to start off that we got 12th pick out of 14, and personally this is exactly what I didn't want. And the reason I say that is because I wanted a high tier pick. I wanted to try something like Urshi, Dragapult, maybe Zygarde, Lando T, even Garchomp. A lot of different mons, and none of them dropped to me, as I have a Latios. I do like Latios. It is a pretty good mon, and it fit a speed tier that is kind of hard to fill a little bit later on. So I'm not upset about it, though it would have been nice to have a high tier pick. Another reason I wanted a high tier pick, is that the way I like to build is get a really strong breaker and then a really solid defensive core, and then just build around that. In our team, we did that pretty well still. Despite our draft pick, we got Latios, Corviknight, Swampert, That's what this team is mainly built around. Corviknight, Swampert cover each other insanely well. They're both very bulky. One gets rocks, one can defog. Importantly, they can pivot. The thing I wanted most was to get Corv Swampert. They can both pivot and then get a whole bunch of offensive threats. That didn't come exactly to fruition, as we have Latios, CONK, Bisharp, and Jinx too, or Bombi, as like offensive mons, which they are pretty good. I'm not gonna say they're not, but I was thinking I could have went a little bit more offensive, just because these two alone on defense are so good. And to tie back to what I was saying earlier about early draft picks, if I got like a really early pick, I can get a breaker, go all the way back around, and then get a solid core back to back, so I don't have to worry about getting sniped. Speaking of snipes, in this draft, I actually barely got sniped of anything really. The way this worked was because I had so many different things I could pick up. If like CONK got taken, I could have gone for a low tier fighting or something. If Bisharp got taken, I could have went for another dark type. Things could have been replaced throughout the draft, which was very helpful for me in making this team. The one quote snipe, I don't like to call it, but it technically could be, is I have a Rotom Heat on this team, and I did prep for my week 1 already, and I'm noticing that Rotom Heat is actually not pressured to be defensive in this game, or in this team, which is really nice. And that does open the door for Rotom Heat to do more on this team. The issue is, if I wanted an offensive fire, I could have went a different route. I say snipe because I was going back and forth between Rotom Heat and Cinderace, and during the draft I took Swampert and just let the wheel go first, and Cinderace got taken. Looking back, Cinderace I think would have been better on this team, but Rotom Heat is still good here and can serve as an offensive mon to kind of help out with pivoting into other mons like I was mentioning. CONK is a little bit matchup dependent, but in good matchups, CONK can go crazy. I used it at the very beginning of the generation, my first full league, PCP Season 6, and CONK went stupid. That was limited Galar decks though, so this is a very different metagame, really solid coaches in this league that probably know how to deal with CONK, but I still think it's going to have some really good matchups in this league here. By the way, if I'm leaned down and scrunched, I apologize. I have to sit up so my head's in a proper place here. I started filling up holes. My team is a little fire weak as well as ice weak, so Snorlax was a great addition late in the draft to kind of compensate that. I have used Snorlax before. It is a great Pokemon, and I'm really excited that it's on the team here. I have good setup options: Calm Mind Latios, Bulk Up CONK, Quiver Dance for Bombi, Swords Dance Bisharp, Nasty Plot Rotom, Bulk Up Corviknight. There's so much different setup on this team. It's actually really nice. I mentioned I got some good breakers already. I have Bisharp on this team. I will say I did make a post-draft transaction. I dropped Galarian Moltres for Bisharp. I really wanted to use Moltres, but in the end, the ice weakness was a bit much, and Bisharp gave me a dark type that can knock off. And another thing I realized was that Bisharp is really hard to fit on drafts, and you technically need a secondary steel to kind of make sure that Bisharp isn't your only steel type. I have a Corviknight on this team, so I thought Bisharp would be very good here. And again, knockoff. Hazard game, I have Swampert for rocks, Rabombi for webs. My team's not the fastest in the world. It's not the slowest, but it could be like a little bit better. I do kind of lack a good Scarfer outside of Rotom Heat and maybe Bisharp. Not really a great Scarfer, so that could be an issue. The reason I'm not too stressed about it is because in UPBA, my speed tiers were terrible, and it didn't really come into play too much. So I'm not crazy worried about it, though it could be an issue every now and then. To finish off this draft, my team is very not weak to ground. 1,000 Arrows is a little different, but like Earthquake Spam, my team just straight up doesn't mind. So that's also why I went Bisharp, and that's why I went Vileplume. It gives me a grounded poison to absorb toxic spikes that Swampert hates, and Snorlax doesn't always want to run immunity, so it does alleviate from that. Jinx, great low tier. I think offensive ice types are a little underrated, and base 95 speed with 115 special attack is very respectable. Granted, this does very similar things to Latios, except Latios does those things better, but I could see a matchup where Jinx could be very niche, and for 2 points, it was worth it. And so I don't get a dislike on this video from Aquarius. We did draft Solrock, and it is our 1-pointer for the team. Are we going to bring it? Probably, but I'm not sure when throughout the season we will do that. But that kind of just wraps it up for this team that I have here. I would say I'm kind of like middle of the pack in terms of the team we drafted. This is definitely not the best team on the board. There are some cracked teams in this league. Like, these people know how to draft. But I also think we're not the worst, just because I think the core we have is very good. Another thing I want to point out to extend this video even more is that I mentioned in the draft stream that happened was that I'm a person that doesn't mind mons that are locked into certain roles. I don't mind if Corviknight has to be a pivot every week, just because it is so good at that role. Now, that can be a hindrance against some people, especially, again, because these coaches are very good. They probably have ways to exploit that, but it is something I'm a little bit more comfortable with compared to other coaches. So hopefully I can try and stick to my comfort zone a bit and just stick to my play style. A lot of coaches in this league did that. A lot of people picked up comfort picks. I have like a comfort play style. I don't have comfort Pokemon, as half this team I probably have never used. Like, I've never used Corv in a whole draft season. I've never used Swampert or Bombi. Believe it or not, I've only used Rotom Heat in tournaments and VGC stuff IRL, not in draft league. So it's like a tweaked change, but nothing crazy. So yeah, that's kind of all I got. You guys are going to see the glare in my glasses again because I have my team up. This is it. Let me know what you guys think of my team in the description below. I hope you guys are looking very forward to this league, as again, I am looking very excited for it. I put a lot of I say a lot of effort. I say that very lightly. I kind of just threw on something, put my lights on, and there we go. But more effort than usual, right? So I would appreciate if you guys left a like and just comment what you guys think again. Hopefully we don't go 0-9 in this league. If I remember to throw up the schedule, which I won't, the schedule is on the CGT website or on Draft League NL. So if you want to see my schedule, it will be up on there. So that's going to wrap it up for this draft analysis. I really hope I didn't forget anything. If I do, I will edit and put like text on screen because I still have to put like background music over this anyway. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here and you haven't subbed, if you like what you're seeing, I would highly appreciate it. Your support would mean the world to me. Here's to a good season. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to get out of this because I am sweating my ass off. And I will see you guys in week 1.